All right, so today we're diving into the eighth key from Jean Benjour's Realities of Life. And this one sounds so simple, but in the world we live in, it's a truly radical act. Live below your means. Honestly, this might be the most challenging and maybe the most rewarding idea we've talked about yet. Look, right out of the gate, we have to get one thing straight. You're not just making financial choices in a vacuum. No, you're living inside this massive, incredibly smart system that's been built for one main reason: to get you to spend your money. So, in a world that is constantly screaming, more, new, upgrade, now, what if the most powerful, the most countercultural thing you could possibly do is just stop? What if you just refuse to play the game? That's the big idea we're going to dig into today. So let's really unpack this. Why is this simple piece of advice actually a revolutionary act here in the 21st century? I mean, it sounds like basic common sense, doesn't it? Just spend less than you make. But think about it. When you're just bombarded day in and day out with credit card offers, with those flashing 50% off sales, and a never-ending feed of perfect, luxurious lifestyles online, choosing to live simply isn't just a budget choice. It is a full-on act of rebellion. So how did we even get here? To really get why this is such a struggle, we've got to look at what's called the architecture of desire, the actual blueprint that was used to build the consumer world we all live in. You know, at the very heart of this system, there's a guy named Edward Bernays. Now get this. He was Sigmund Freud's nephew, and he took his uncle's incredible insights into the human mind, but he didn't use them to heal people. No, he used them to sell things to people. He basically invented the idea of linking a product to our deepest unconscious desires. He taught corporations how to make you want things you absolutely do not need. And today, Bernays' original blueprint is, well, it's on steroids. Every single click, every search you make, every time you pause on a video, it's all being tracked by algorithms that are learning your habits and your impulses, probably better than you know them yourself. And it's all just to serve you that one perfect temptation at the perfect time. And this manipulation, it gets even sneakier. I mean, think about the specific shades of red and yellow you see in fast food logos. That is not an accident. Those colors are psychologically chosen to literally trigger feelings of hunger and urgency in your brain. And then there's the classic, only 2 left in stock message. A lot of the time, that's just completely made up. It's fabricated scarcity. It's a psychological trick meant to spark that fear of missing out, FOMO, and push you to buy right now before you have a second to think it over. Of course, the thing that pours gasoline on this whole fire is social media. It's a non-stop highlight reel of everyone else's best purchases. We're not just trying to keep up with the neighbors anymore, we're trying to keep up with thousands of perfectly curated, filtered lives online. The pressure, it's just relentless. So here's the bottom line. The system makes a very clear, very seductive promise. Buying more stuff will make you happy. But what's the reality for so many of us? It's not happiness, is it? It's debt, it's constant pressure, and it's a life of being distracted from the things that actually truly matter. Okay, that was the problem, and it's heavy stuff. But now let's flip the script. Let's talk about the solution. This is all about finding a new way to think about wealth and discovering a new currency, the currency of freedom. See, when you live below your means, you create something the system desperately hopes you never have: margin. And margin isn't just about extra cash in the bank. It's financial space, sure, but it's also mental space and time. It's the freedom to handle a flat tire without panicking, the freedom to help out a friend, to chase a passion project, or just to rest without feeling anxious. It's breathing room. And this really forces us to ask a huge question. If the new car and the bigger house aren't the real prize, then what is? What does it actually mean to be wealthy? The answer? It's everything that money promises but can never actually deliver. Real wealth is having control over your own time. It's having deep, meaningful relationships. It's waking up with a sense of purpose. It's having spiritual depth. And it's the ultimate luxury: freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your one precious life. Chasing after these real assets, this isn't some new self-help fad. This is timeless wisdom. Let's just look at a few stories from the modern day all the way back that really prove the power of this way of thinking. Let's start with a modern guy, Joshua Becker. He was having a totally normal Saturday, cleaning out his garage, when he had this massive realization. All the stuff he owned was actually owning him. It was stealing his precious weekend time he could have been spending with his son. By getting rid of the clutter, he didn't lose a thing. He got his time, his clarity, he got his life back. And then you've got author Leo Babauta, who took this idea of simplicity to an even more profound level. What he found was that by reducing his own wants and needs, he dramatically increased his ability to focus on the needs of other people. His life became so much richer by being less about himself. Of course, you can't talk about this without mentioning the classic example, right? Henry David Thoreau. He went off to the woods to live deliberately. His whole goal was to strip away everything that wasn't essential to see what was actually important in life. And you know what he discovered? True fulfillment didn't come from accumulating more things in his life. It came from paying attention to his life. And maybe the most dramatic example of all is Leo Tolstoy. We're talking about the author of War and Peace, a guy born into unbelievable aristocratic wealth. And yet, in his later years, he gave it all up for a simple, almost monk-like life, because he believed that real meaning could only be found in serving other people. These stories are so inspiring, right? But inspiration that doesn't lead to action, it just kind of fades away. So for a last part here, let's make this super practical. What's your first step to get out of this cycle? Look, you don't have to have some dramatic life overhaul. BingeWare's book suggests a really simple but powerful first move. Step 1, find one single recurring expense you can cut. That's it. Maybe it's a streaming service you barely watch, or that daily coffee. Then, step 2, and this is the magic part, you have to consciously redirect that resource, whether it's the money or the time you just saved, towards something that actually fills you up, like taking your partner on a date or volunteering for an hour. And that leaves us with one last big thought to take with you. We are all experts at calculating the price of things. We see the price tag, we get it. But we almost never stop to calculate their true cost. So ask yourself this. Beyond the dollars and cents, what is all this consumption really costing you? What is it costing you in your time, in your freedom, and in your focus? The answer? Well, the answer might just change everything.